Davy must have sent help. The poor youth's mind wrestled against his heart. If I shoot grandfather and rescue comes, then I would have murdered him for naught. If I decline and no rescue comes, Raven shall suffer such terrible—
Mr. Clive,
Cassim summoned Christopher off the rail.
What say thee?
Grimacing, Christopher returned slowly to the circle. He gawked at his grandfather, who was mumbling something incoherent about the Irish and the heathens.
All you have to do is agree to the bloody ransom,
Christopher roared at him. Redmond blinked a few times.
Never! I shall never cower to these barbarians. I swear this by God and King, and if you—
Stop talking, sir, said Christopher. You are a fool! Do you not hear him? He is not going to ransom you. You shall die for cheating the Sultan. Redmond stared. If I kill thee, then I can save them all. Christopher was frantic.
You wouldn't dare!
Exasperated, Christopher stared at his grandfather incredulously. Why not? You were going to die anyway. He then surprised himself by abruptly pointing the pistol at his grandfather's forehead. And I suspect you shall die a very cool death. Why can't you just sign the damn pledge? I beg thee, sir. Push thy pride aside for once in thy life and find some Christian charity. Redmond said nothing for a long moment. Christopher pressed the barrel hard against his grandfather's skull. He watched Redmond's eyes widen and then slant toward the Janissaries now gathering close.
Nay, they shall not kill me. I am worth a great deal of money. It would be a foolish thing to do. Now lower thy pistol.
Nearly burst, Christopher bent Redmond's head back with the barrel. What? You are nothing to the Sultan. Do you not understand this? Now sweating, Redmond answered.
The Sultan cannot afford to order my death.
Shut thy stupid mouth. Christopher grit his teeth. His hand began to shake. What is it? You say they are barbarians, and yet you expect them to think like you think. They shall never roast thee alive, or splay thee, or sever thy head, or—
Enough!
Redmond hissed.
Hear me, boy. You shall not be pulling that trigger, and I shall not be signing a pledge with these Irish. That is the end of it.
Why must you force my hand this way? Mad with anguish, Christopher swung his head to Raven. His mind filled again with stories of rapine and violation. He returned his face to his haughty grandfather, now puffing his chest like a banty rooster. He took a breath and rose on his toes. He clenched his jaw and squeezed his hand around the pistol. He felt his grandfather's eyes condemning him. His trigger finger tensed. Then Raven suddenly cried out, Know who you are, Kipper? Then do what you must do. Christopher whipped his head toward the soft-eyed girl. What? He lost himself for a moment. What? Know who I am? Who am I? He was no longer certain. He rolled Raven's words over and over in his mind. Struggling, he returned his face to his grandfather and then suddenly remembered something Raven had once said in the cove. Man of hope. She called me a man of hope. His jaw pulsed. He trembled. It was enough. Christopher lowered his hand slowly. He stared at the pistol and returned it to Colonel Cassim, grip forward. I decline, sir. He looked at Raven.
Fool, said Redmond. Clay-brained fool! You could have taken Crumb hostage. Now we are still in this pickle.
Christopher turned his back on the baronet as the old man groused after him.
You think I should be grateful to thee? Blah! I expected so much more.
Not answering, Christopher abandoned his grandfather and watched his beloved Raven dragged back to the hold. You did well, Kipper Clive, said Raven over her shoulder. Christopher thought her voice sounded suddenly weak. He tried to call after her, but he could not speak.